And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays to all of you Sand Run Travel travelers. Here it is in December. Reg, can you believe it? We're almost to the end of the year.
This year has just zipped on by. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holiday season. We hope everyone has had a great year, but this year has just slipped right on by.
I mean, it's amazing. We at Sand Run Travel rarely, that continues this year, do anything from beginning of December to the end of January. And it just seems impossible that our travel season's actually over for taking customers places, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's been as as busy of year it's been. It's still has just kind of slipped by.
Yeah, yeah. And the older I get, the faster they go. It just it's frightening to me, but it's also enjoyable because we're still kicking and enjoying life and getting out and doing new adventures. And we got more of that planned for all of you next year, 2023. Won't talk too much about it today, but we'll get to it a little bit. Anyway, one of the things that we started doing, and it was received fairly well last month, is trying to answer both casino and cruise oriented questions during our time together. And we've got a couple that I ran across this month. The first one was how to improve your chances of winning a casino. And
That's a good question.
actually, Reg, what my first thought was don't go in. But but
Yeah, that's usually a pretty good start.
but but it was knowing us, and if those of you who really know Reggie and I, that's not going to happen.
No.
We're going to go in,
Yeah.
and
Well, the other thing you can do is go in and leave all your money in the car so that you can't spend any. But that one probably won't work either.
no, but a couple of the ideas that we saw, and it's things that we have talked to you about over the years. Learn the rules of whatever game you're going to play. If it's a slot machine, have at it. Just understand they're random. If you're going to play blackjack, learn basic strategy. If you're going to do craps, learn the strategy and the betting sequences of craps. If you're going to play, what is it, three card poker, learn what the rules of that game are and the odds. In other words, just know whatever game you're going to play, you know what you're facing.
That helps because it's hard to play any game when you have no idea what the rules are.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the first thing. The second one was maybe one of the harder things, and that's set a gambling budget and stick to it. If you walk into a casino with 20 bucks to play on the slot machines, and you feel that's all you can afford, then that's what you want to do. I know Reggie has a starting budget whenever he sits down or stands up at a craps table. I have a starting budget when I sit down at a blackjack table. Frequently, I'm able to stay within that. I've broken myself of going back and going to the ATMs to augment my income or my stake. So I've broken that fairly well. I don't know, Reg, have you?
Yeah, I try to stay pretty consistent that usually I'm going to take only so much, depending on how long we're at the
Yeah,
casino.
yeah,
I'm going to take so much per day.
yeah,
If it's just a 1 day trip, then I've taken what I'm going to spend for what I'm willing to spend for that day.
yeah, yeah. That's what I try to do. I've gotten much more successful with it in the last 4 or 5 years, uh, and it is a hard thing to do. But that leads to one of the things that I did read here, and that was avoid chasing losses. And I see so many people, and like I say, I play a lot of blackjack, and I see so many people. They get on a little bit of a losing streak, 4 or 5 hands in a row, and the next thing you know, they say, well, I'm due. Well, I'm going to double or triple my bet just to see if I can get all that money back. And all that does is chase it. You're going to end up, the odds are you're going to lose it again.
Chasing losses usually mean you catch
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Catch
Because
more losses.
the
Yeah.
losses will slow down long enough for you to catch up, and you will catch up with those losses, and they're going to get more and more. So when you get done, instead of having the loss of $200, you're now at a loss of $500.
Yeah. And then the next one is a corollary to that, and that's walk away when you're winning. And that's also hard to do. Uh, I don't know about you, but I usually set a situation where if I at least get 50% of my stake as a win, I'll try to do a double my stake. But if I get to 50%, I get over it a little bit, come back down, it's time to go. And that's really set those kind of limits for yourself.
It's probably harder to walk away when you're winning than it is to walk away when you're losing.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it's a matter of setting what you're happy with that you win. And if nothing else, just take a break. Which
You're
is,
right. If nothing else, just take a break. Go
yeah,
get you a drink. Go get you a sandwich. Go find some friends. Walk around. Take a look at what else is going on. Come back.
yeah. Even
The
if you're
table's
winning,
not going.
yeah,
The table, the slot machine, the crap table. They're not going anywhere. They're going to still be there. Whether you come back 5 minutes from then, 5 hours from then, or 5 days from then.
yeah. And one of the other things that they talk about is knowing the table rates or the win payout rates of things like on slot machines, on know the payout rates on video poker. In my game, blackjack, I have to be aware of what the table rules are for the stakes because they are now changing a lot of them. On the other carnival games like three card poker and Let It Ride, be aware of the payouts that they're substantial enough that when you do hit a good hand, you make up for all those losses. And I'm sure the same thing is on craps, Reg.
Oh yeah, if you I've seen people I was watching a guy, he went through, I think he had $2,000 in front of him. He went through that 2,000. He threw his card on the table, said, "Give me another two." He went through that 2,000. He threw his card on the table. He got another two. And I was talking to some people that have been at the table. They said he's been here all morning doing this.
Wow.
How much he went through in the course of that day, I have no idea. But while I was standing there, I saw him go through at least $8,000.
And the odds on winning that much back on that day are pretty slim,
Right.
even at craps.
Because unless the table itself has finally got hot where everybody is winning, the likelihood of you getting that back is slim to none.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing, and this is key for a lot of people, avoid alcohol. Now that doesn't mean don't drink it, but avoid over drinking the alcohol while you're playing. Why do
There's
you think the casinos give you free booze?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a reason that they walk around and say, "Would you like a drink?"
Proof be told that you make some stupid bets when you're drinking a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful, guys, when you're out there at the casinos and they're offering you free alcohol. Make sure you don't overdo it because you're likely going to do something you'll regret financially along the way.
If you're gonna take the free alcohol, take that as you're on your way to go sit down and have a sandwich or something.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Although I got to admit, I got really hooked at the frozen margaritas that Fremont was serving the last time we were out in Vegas. I had to watch myself there. In all that heat, they were really making me feel too good. Anyway,
Sometimes a good mojito while you're at the crab table works pretty good too.
anyway, with that, guys, I hope you listen to it. I hope you can follow a little bit of that and just control your, maybe give you a little bit better chance to walking home with some money in your pocket. Now, the other thing we always get, and I took this last month we did Vegas, And I thought, well, rather than pick favorite casinos just out of every place else we go, I thought I'd the casinos we've gone to New York. And I thought, you know what? I think after all is said and done, one of my favorite casinos, especially in New York, is Del Lago, up at the tip of the Geneva. I think it's Seneca and Cayuga Lakes of the Finger Lakes. It's just an elegant place with terrific dining options. And as far as the casino itself was light, it was airy. And when we were there, the steaks were absolutely perfect for most of our players. Reg, what's your favorite in New York?
Well, I really liked when we went up to Thousand Islands. We
Ah,
had a great time up there. But probably one of my favorites is the Seneca Niagara Falls,
Niagara. Okay.
because you have so many options of things to do. The falls is right there. There's the park you can go through. You got there's plenty of machines, plenty of table games. The hotel and the rooms are just spectacular. Um, the last time we were there, everyone wanted to steal the beds, mattresses, and bring them home.
That's right. I remember that.
So that one, as far as just things to do in the area, there are you probably have more of a variety of things to do than you have most places, just because of where it's situated at.
Great option. Great option. And I'm going to piggyback on that. Folks, we're going back up to Niagara Falls next Mother's Day. So keep that in mind. Now, on to cruise questions. The first one was really interesting. I spotted this one on one of the Facebook websites. How do I find a ship's itinerary before we cruise? I want to know what's going on daily with times. Our cruise is 40 days away. I hate to tell you, but you probably are going to have to wait till you get on the ship to see the cruise itinerary. There will be things that you can find out about as far as meals, as far as maybe
Ports
storage
of
storage.
call, you can find out the ports of call.
Yeah, but
Um,
the onboard activities, not necessarily the
yeah,
entertainment.
on board, no, you're not going to know that until you're on board. But
And
they do give you a daily activity sheet
right,
once you're on board, so that you have a running tally of what's going on daily.
and most of the cruise lines are going to an app on your telephone so that
Mhm.
you can do it that way. And well, I thought I would be resistant to that when we first tried it out. And quite frankly, I got hooked on it because now I have it with me. In some of them, I can put little reminders, uh, 15 minutes ahead of time. Hey, you wanted to do this, you can go do it. So, but unfortunately, you're pretty well restricted on any of the cruise lines that we've been on to waiting till you get on board to know the daily activities.
Right.
Now, the next thing I saw, this was it came up because of changes the cruise lines are doing is what is a muster drill? Reg?
Well, the muster drill is something that every ship must do and everyone must go through, because it's going to teach you how to save your life if there is some reason that you have to leave the ship while the ship is in the middle of the water. The likelihood of that happening, fortunately, has not been very great, that you're going to have to do it, but it's something that maritime law says everyone must do while you're on the ship, before the ship can leave port. So that everyone knows where your lifeboats are, where you're supposed to go, so that the staff and crew can keep track of who's on the ship, who's got off the ship, where people are, and to make sure that everyone is getting off the ship safely if there is an event that would require that to happen.
And that's true. And as Reg said there, it's required by all maritime law The ship can't leave port without everyone participating. So it's your responsibility and the ship's to make sure you go through the muster drill. Now, much to all of us, our happiness is that most of the cruise lines have gone to a television, a video, an E-type muster drill where you don't have to all gather on deck and stand there for about a half an hour while they go through the instructions. Most of them, I think all at this point, have one variation where you watch the video on your room, in your room or in your cabin, and then you go check in at your muster point, the point at where you would actually meet in case of an emergency.
Right.
That
And then
saves an awful lot.
and then that way they know that you've seen you know where your station is at, you know where you're supposed to go in case of emergency, and they've checked in to know that you have actually watched the video.
Yeah,
Because when you watch the video in your room, they do record that that the video was watched.
yeah. Although I can tell you on the last cruise we were at, we knew they were desperately searching for a number of people who probably were on the Lido deck a little bit longer than they needed to be for the muster drill and hadn't shown up anywhere yet. You can always tell.
But they're going to track them down and they're
They
going to find
will find them.
if
Yeah.
even if they have to just wait outside their room until they show up. And when they show up, they'll say, "Oh, time for your muster drill," and then you're going to do it. So everyone is going to do it. It's not something that you have an option on.
Right.
But it's not something that's nearly as long and drawn out as it used to be
Right.
because of now, well, with some of the COVID restrictions that they have put in place, they now went to the more of the video options, which doesn't have everybody gathered in one spot now.
Right. Okay, that's the muster drill. Now, the last thing is something I ran into, and it's my own fault. But a lot of people ask questions. What happens if you get caught sneaking alcohol onto the ship? Now, the last cruise we were on, I didn't try to sneak it on, but I got told I wasn't allowed to bring it on. So the main thing is to know the guidelines of the cruise line that you're going on. Most cruise lines allow you to bring one or two bottles of wine onto the ship with no charge and no corking charge. Um, they do not allow alcohol, vodka, scotch, or anything like that to be brought on. And what happens is if you get caught trying to sneak it on, either in your carry on or stuffed in your luggage, you will not get that alcohol at all. In some cases, you may not even get it back when you depart. Normally, you'll get it back when you depart the ship, and in some cases, you might even be threatened to be disembarked immediately uh,
Right.
if they catch you. So it's not a wise thing to try. Follow the guidelines. And then one I was not aware of is that because I've never tried to take vodka or anything on board, uh, Carnival did allow you to bring a bottle of alcohol on board other than wine. Then they changed the policy and said you couldn't order it. No, no, they never allowed you to bring it on, but you could order a bottle for your room. Then they said you couldn't. Well, all you vodka, alcohol, scotch drinkers of the world, they just changed their mind again. Once you're on board, you can order a bottle of alcohol to be delivered to your room, as with wine, which has never been changed.
Right.
No. So it's just a word to the wise. Wine's usually okay. Alcohol is not to take on board. Don't get caught. Don't try to sneak it on. If you happen to get caught going on, they'll just confiscate it and you do get it back. The one that I know will not allow even wine on board is MSC. I'm not sure about some of the brands that we don't use very much, but I know Carnival, Virgin, and NCL, and I believe the Royal Caribbean I'll allow some wine to be brought on board. Just check on how much they allow.
And all of this is in an effort to minimize the amount of people getting drunk and getting disorderly while on
Yeah.
the ship. So there, it's really for your protection and the protection of those that came on the ship with you.
Yep. Yep. That's all it's for. And we'll say the cruise line likes to make a little bit of money on their alcohol.
And they're going to make theirs because they will sell you plenty of alcohol.
Yeah. You won't
You
have a
don't
problem.
really have to bring any. They got plenty for you.
And with that, we're just going to remind everyone that we have our Panama Canal cruise is still available. We have to check on whatever specials are going on at the time. I get about one call a week on that cruise. We're still going out February 4th. We are going down February 3rd. Cabins are still available. There's a range of them. I think if you figure, I'm not going to guess what we can get, but it looks like the inside will start around $650 and an ocean view around 850 and a balcony about 1125. So that's per person plus taxes. But if you're interested, it's going to be a spectacular cruise to break the winter apart and get some warmth.
And with winter really trying to ease its way in right now, you may not have thought about doing a winter cruise back in April or May. But right now, if you walk outside and that 30-degree hawk hits you, uh, you may decide, 75, 80 degrees in the Caribbean sounds pretty good.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Or you could buy your family a gift certificate from San Ron Travel. We will sell you a gift certificate anywhere from $25 to $1,000 if you wanted to. But they make great Christmas gifts, especially for family members like to go places and are looking for new adventures. When we were talking about Mother's Day to Niagara Falls, it would be a great Christmas present. Just give your mom a gift certificate for that bus trip up to Niagara Falls. So hopefully you think of us. We're last minute shopping greats. I mean, we can get you a gift certificate in a matter of hours. So just give us a call and make somebody happy with an adventure somewhere in the world that we take
And if no one is giving you a gift certificate, you can always buy one for yourself.
them. What a great idea. All right, Reg, we had our monthly drawing. Reg told me we had a reach of about 600 people last month. So give me number 138. Count down there. And who do we send our gift certificate to?
We have Christy Modlin, Modlin, Christy Modlin.
Christy, Reg, and I have never met you, but if you'll get a hold of Reg on Facebook, give him your contact information, we'll get a $25 San Run Travel gift certificate out to you, and maybe you can join us on one of our fabulous adventures.
And they're good for any trip that San Run does, not just cruises or our destination vacations. They're also good for our bus trips. So you can use that gift certificate for whatever.
That's a great, great idea. Okay, we're off for this year. Next time we talk to you will be in 2023. I hope it's as maybe a better year than we had this year, but it sure can't will match the fun that we've had with all of you this year. Have a very merry holiday season. Reg, you got any parting discussion?
Well, it's holiday season is coming. We want everyone to have a safe and blessed holiday season. Uh, I'm going to end my year on a cruise for my birthday. Sharon and I are going to take off and we're going to go explore the new Carnival celebration ship. So when we come back next year, we will be able to tell you a little bit about what the celebration has to offer if you ever choose to go on that new ship. Um, The COVID is still around. There are some other new viruses out there. Flu season is starting. Please do what you have to do to keep yourself safe and healthy. And we look forward to seeing you all next year.
Isn't that the truth? Until then, safe travels.
Safe travels. Take care.